Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 2. It's time. Are you ready? Now here we go with your host, Ken Judge.
Hey everyone, this is Ken from Ken's Corner. As always, I just want to thank you for joining us. Hit like on and subscribe and watch what we got. We got a lot of interest in wrestling family and wrestlers all the time. So just hit that subscribe button. Today on Ken's Corner, I'm very excited. I got a very special lady here with me. Her name's Kelly Slaughter, or better known as Slaughter Daughter. And if you know that name, it is none other than the daughter of Sergeant Slaughter from WWF Hall of Famer. How are you doing today, Kelly?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ken?
I am doing amazing now. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you and an honor. It is.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for asking me to come on.
Thank you very much. Now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about your upbringing. You are the daughter of a legend. I'm sorry I keep bringing his name up, but he is a very important person growing up to a lot of people, as I heard Deshaun speak before a few months ago, that he scared the hell out of most of us when we were younger, and that is the truth. Sergeant Slaughter was that guy. He was probably the best heel of all time in my minds. How was it at your home growing up? Did the Slaughter name continue at home?
It did not. So my mom made sure of that. She told him, "You leave Sarge at the arena. When you walk through these doors, you are Bob and your dad. And you're a husband and a father. You're not a wrestler when you walk in these doors." So my mom, really kind of kept his feet on the ground by doing that.
That's great. Now, have you spent some time in the squared circle yourself, Kelly?
I have not. I wanted to when I was young because I wanted to do what my dad did, like most kids do. They want to follow in a parent's footsteps. But my dad did not want the wrestling life for me. He knew what it took to be a wrestler and to be a good one. And he was gone 300 days of the year and maybe even more than that. And on the road, and his body took a beating. And he did not want that for me. Now, I will say he never discouraged me from doing it, but he never encouraged me either.
Yeah.
Even now, today, I've talked to him about it. I'm like, "Dad, what do you think about if I went and trained and got in, wrestling?" And he's like, "Nope." Nope, you don't want that life, Kelly. You don't want that life. So
Yeah.
it really takes a special person and a special athlete and a special strong mind to be a wrestler, in my opinion, because there's no off season. They don't have time to recoup. I mean, it's like show after show after show. And in American football or baseball, they have seasons, and then in the off season they're able to rest, and you don't have that in wrestling.
Not unless you're injured, that's for sure, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, I read on your site or your Facebook page, I guess it is, OCR athlete. What does that mean? Can you explain that to our viewers?
Sure. So OCR stands for obstacle course race. So I do obstacle course races. I'm not an elite or anything like that. I do them for fun and I train for them and I have a really good time doing them. I'm not standing on the podium. I'm not getting like first, second, or third place. I'm kind of like way in the back of the pack. But that's what I do is I do obstacle course races. Mainly I do Spartan races, but I have veered in other directions and done a couple other brands of obstacle course race, but mostly it's Spartan races.
It sounds like you have to have some sort of a training involved to be able to keep up to a life like that.
Yeah. Yes, because you need strength and endurance.
Well, maybe you can tell us. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just saying you need endurance, especially for the longer races, because there are different length races that you can do with Spartan.
What is your training protocol leading up to something like this?
Lots of running.
Lots of running.
And I am not a runner at all. In fact, I have a shirt that I wear that says Sloth Running Team. So for me, it's more of like a really fast walk. But I do a lot of like elliptical work, a lot of cardio to keep my endurance up, and then a lot of strength training too, and a lot of grip strength because there's a lot of upper body hanging obstacles, monkey bars. There's a rope climb, which that's my nemesis is the rope climb.
Yeah, me
That
too.
is, yeah, that is, and it's really, you can do it all upper body, but there is a technique with climbing the rope where you're using your feet and the way you hook the rope with your feet and use more of your legs to kind of get up that rope. But I just have not mastered that yet. But and everything is muddy and wet, which makes it even harder to do. I just did a Spartan race in over the weekend in Charlotte, the area that I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was the first race I ever did a year ago, and it got me hooked. And to do the course again, it was, like coming full circle. And my husband, I talked him into doing it with me. And then the next day we brought our kids and the kids raced. So it was like a family thing, and it was amazing and awesome. But it was a really cool full circle moment, but they made the course harder than they did last year. And it was the way they designed the course. You would go through mud, and then you would have to do these obstacles that are normally pretty easy and everybody can do them, but you're literally covered in mud, and everybody that's done the obstacle before you was covered in mud. So the obstacle is completely covered in mud. So this obstacle that you think is a piece of cake, you're going to get right through it, you really struggle with because you can't get a grip on things and you're falling off or trying not to fall off. And so it was a really good challenge. I loved it.
I talked me into it. I would love to see one of these obstacle course races. This is very interesting to me. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, I want to move on just a little bit here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I seen a wrestling figurine of Slaughter Daughter. Is that right?
Yes, it's actually a custom figure by a man named Mark Potter who lives in the UK, and he designed it for me and made it, from different action figures, and so made that custom for me and sent it to me. But yeah, so I've got my own little Slaughter Daughter figure. Maybe one day they will be out in the stores for people to buy, but just for now, it's just mine.
I really liked it. It's really cool looking, I thought.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. I want to ask you another question. Have you watched WWE today? Do you keep up on WWE? Or does your
I
father?
do not. My dad does. My dad keeps up with wrestling. That's his profession. He's once a wrestler, always a wrestler. So he does keep up with things. Probably not now as much as he used to. He used to watch it religiously. He would set his DVR and record it. I think he
I
still
do.
sets his DVR. I think he still sets his DVR to watch it because he's not always around or able to watch live from TV. But so he does keep up with it. I don't really keep up with it much. I mean, I do hear names here and there, and like the big names like Charlotte Flair and John Cena and Roman Reigns. Like I know who they are, but I don't watch.
Yeah. Is there anyone that excites your dad? Do you know?
Um, I'm trying to think. He's never been like, oh, so and so is great. I showed him a clip of two female wrestlers, two of the divas wrestling. I think one was Charlotte Flair, and I don't know who the other one was, but it was I don't know what the correct wrestling term for it is, but whatever move it was, they did it wrong, and Charlotte landed on her head and on her face. And my dad was like, oh, that's awful. They really need to be careful. They can't do these these kind of moves, and that could have killed Charlotte, you know. So yeah.
Not quite the same as in his day. Maybe, honestly, I grew up in those days, as I know you did. So the wrestling from then to today is much different. And you're right, the high flying moves and some of the things, if they don't do it perfectly, it's going to end wrong.
Dangerous. Yes, very dangerous. I mean, you can break someone's neck. She could have broken her face. I mean, it was when I saw it, I knew that something wrong had happened that was wrong. They weren't in the right position or whatever it was. And then I just like showed my phone to my dad and he went, "Oh, geez."
Actually, if I can think about it right now, going back a year ago, exactly that happened. You said break a neck. Big E landed the wrong way during a suplex, and he is still out of action almost a year, 16 months now, I think. So
yeah,
it's true.
People want to say, it's fake, wrestling's fake, and it's like, yeah, the outcome might be fake. Like they might know who's gonna win in the end, and they might
K-fab.
be like, yeah, kayfabe.
Yeah, exactly.
But those moves hurt, and those moves can really hurt somebody seriously and could kill someone, and it's definitely not to be taken lightly. And if you ever sit there and watch them take the ring apart, people think it looks like it's bouncy, like there's springs. There's no springs.
There's wood in there. I've seen it out here in Oshawa Wrestling up here in Ontario. I watched them take it apart, and I'm like, whoa! I'm glad I'm a podcaster. I'm not in that ring right now.
Yeah, I'm not taking any bumps, right?
No, taking no bumps. I tell all the wrestlers, even though I've done a little bit of K-fob with them, I say, okay, but you're much bigger than I am. You're a lot younger than I am, so please just keep your hands to you, and we're good.
Yes, I've had people like kind of challenge me on the whole thing, and I'm like, can I put you in a figure four? Let me try to break your leg, and you tell me if it hurts.
I bet you know how to do that too.
I do, but the move I know the best is obviously the Cobra Clutch.
Oh yeah, your dad's famous move for sure.
Yeah.
But keep that one close to you. That's a Slaughter legend right there. Don't teach too many people that move.
No, and it's funny because I'll put it on people and they're like, "Oh, that's not too bad." I'm like, I'm not even done yet. Like, and then I put it on and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Time to let go, please.
I'm like, no, you have to say mercy first.
Even if they could tap, they would if they could, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of a fun thing here before we close out. I'm not going to keep you forever. I'd love to, but I'm not going to. It's something that my friend Liz, actually, that you met earlier before our recording, she loves to make me do this. And you know what? It's actually kind of fun. It's something called Would You Rather. Are you ready, Kelly Slaughter? Slaughter's daughter.
I am ready.
All right. We only got one question for you. Would you rather be Wonder Woman? That's Wonder Woman. My English is a little better. Catwoman. Or would you rather be Supergirl? And why?
I think that I would rather be Superwoman because she can fly. She can see through things. She's got like X-ray vision. Like I feel like her powers are just a little bit greater than the others.
That is true.
And I don't know how good I would look at a cat suit.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Cape.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, but the fan poll that I did take on this, they think that your figurine kind of looks like Catwoman. So they thought you were going to say Catwoman, but I love the Superwoman. I thank you for moving it up to Superwoman, not Supergirl. I see how you've done that. I like that. So I appreciate you playing along with us on that one. Now, just before we close out here today, I just want to know if you have anything to add to the interview and what we've talked about today, or anything you want to tell our viewers.
Well, if you can get down to Augusta, Georgia in July or in June, beginning of June, I think it's the 10th and 11th. Don't quote me on those dates. But Joe Fest is happening in Augusta, Georgia. My dad will be there. I will be there. It'll be my first appearance with my dad. So come on down to Augusta in June.
There you go. Now you've heard it. Come down to Augusta in June. Georgia's a lovely place. I've been down close to there anyway, down in Columbus, South Carolina, close enough to be in Georgia. And I know it's a beautiful place. Now, we're just going to close off today, and I'm going to say our goodbyes. My name's Ken from Ken's Corner, and I've been honored to have on Slaughter's daughter, Kelly Slaughter. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. You're dismissed.
I love it.